welcome back to the Luck Management Podcast with your host, Carter Loesch. Today is September 13th, 2023. Wow, already halfway through September. Busy season, tax season. Life is crazy, but life is good. And today is going to be a solo episode. So just checking in with everybody, seeing out of how all the luckies are doing out there in the world. And wanted to do a quick little episode on a few different things on what's been happening down here in Houston, but also what is happening in your life. I want you guys to get on socials at the underscore luck management podcast on Instagram and, you know, show me how you're living the luck management lifestyle. But to get us started today, the first thing I wanted to talk about was a quick remembrance of September 11th. It was a crazy moment in our history 22 years ago. I still remember being about 5 years old. And the only thing I really remember from that day is this vague feeling of sadness because I was sitting on my parents' bed. And I remember the comforter they had. I remember everything in the room. TV's in the corner. And we're just sitting there under the covers watching this craziness ensue of these towers falling. And the craziest part is my dad worked at Morgan Stanley just a couple buildings away. And thank God he wasn't in those buildings, but he could have been close. He could have been in the rubble. Who knows what could have happened. But the reason why he went late to work that day was he was dropping off my brother at his preschool. And if he did not do that, who knows what could have happened. But we have friends, we have people that we know from New Jersey. I'm originally from New Jersey that passed away. Thousands of people died and millions were impacted. Our whole country was impacted. We went to war. We went through so many hardships because of that. Heck, you can't take a flight without thinking about 9/11 anymore. It's an absolutely sad and horrendous thing that happened. But I love to think that America has come out stronger, more resilient, and more determined because of the work of what our first responders did, what our military did, and ultimately how our country responded. I mean, George Bush, he had a hard time during that uh, time frame and having being able to go out there. And I remember he went out for the Yankees and he pitched a perfect pitch. It was literally right down the middle. Like you couldn't have scripted it any better. So just to all the first responders, thank you for all that you've done, for all the people that are lost, and for all the people that remember this day as a solemn moment. We'll take a moment of silence right here. Truly, truly never forget. But moving on to a little bit of a brighter side of things, as love America, love being there. This weekend was amazing. Football weekend, week 2, week 3 for Notre Dame fans, but week 2 was crazy. You had Notre Dame beating up on NC State. That was quite awesome. Being able to see NC State uh, flop underneath the Irish, but the Irish won it. Yes, as much as you want to say that the NC State lost it, no, Notre Dame won that game. And they started off slow, and it was a close game. It was 24-17 at one point. Huge rain delay. There was like lightning and thunder, and it was pretty crazy. My parents were actually at the game, and so was my sister and her boyfriend, who was a Pack fan. So, boom. And while we have horns up, we'll get to that soon. But that was a crazy, crazy game. We came out of the rain delay, and Audric Estimate runs an 80-yard touchdown to the house, first play back, and fires up the Notre Dame community. Gets everybody excited, everybody moving. We went to Penny Whistle Pub, which is the game watch for the Notre Dame Club of Houston, which was incredible. We always get about 20 to 30 different people out there that all love Notre Dame. The Notre Dame connection is out of this world. People coming from thousands of miles away from South Bend to watch Notre Dame and be together. Even people that didn't go to Notre Dame, the fans, it runs deep forever. And so that game was awesome. I brought out my friend Ubi, who Miami fan. We'll get to that. Got the W, but it was fun. Every time they scored, they gave out Jello shots. I was having a great time drinking Guinness. It's like the only time I want to drink Guinness. Every other time, I'm like, I'm good. I can hold off from that. But being able to see the boys win and Sam Hartman, he is a plus 2,000 to win the Heisman. Right now, put your money on Sam Hartman. Sam Hartman is balling like we haven't seen before. He's got a great O line behind him. He's got running backs that can get him out of a jam if he needs it. He has the weapons at wide receiver, where last year we were like, we don't have any wide receivers. He elevates them to a huge point. I mean, Tobias Merriweather, beast, but he's not even doing the most for this. He was going to be the number one wide receiver, but he's not even doing anything. David Tyree getting up and down. Then you have Jaden Greathouse, true freshman. Just imagine being an 18-year-old playing in front of a stadium of over 80 to 100,000 people and balling. He's going to be an NFL prospect one day. Bill Belichick's probably going to pick him up at the end of the first round and then make him the best wide receiver ever. So they are moving like crazy. I think our D line needs to push a little bit more, but this upcoming week we have Central Michigan, which I think is going to be a very good game. And you know what? I don't think we're going to win by 50, but I think we're going to really work on some things to get ready for the big game, Ohio State, coming up. Ohio State is going to be crazy beyond anything that we can imagine. Irish, wear your green, go to the game. Do not sell your ticket to Ohio State fans. They want to fill up that stadium. Do not allow them to do so. But with all that saying, Notre Dame beat the Pack. That was beautiful. In other football games, Texas is back. Being in Texas and Houston, few hour drive away from Austin, Texas played so well. Like they're actually back. I can't believe how back they really are. Like they're just balling, they're figuring out all the different things they need to do. And not gonna lie, it's pretty nice to see Tommy Reese have some struggles up in that box. They're always on the phone, that red phone. There were so many memes going around being like, "Oh, Tommy Reese is calling Sam Hartman, being like, oh, I did something wrong. Coach, can you take me back?" I mean, Alabama's gonna figure it out, but this was a big weekend just for Texas to kind of take back over the state, like bring back the football tradition that they had for years and years and show out. I mean, we went to Little Woodrow's on Saturday and that place was rocking. So it's a Texas bar anyway, but everybody was singing the Texas fight song. Everybody was in the best mood you could imagine. It's amazing how football can just bring a mood of happiness and just people feel more confident. I mean, I'll tell you what, as Notre Dame 3-0, I am like the most confident and happy man in the world. Like life is just better. I understand how Patriots fans feel at the end of the day when they were winning all those Super Bowls. Like it just breeds winning. It just breeds being the best you can be. So that was really cool to see. I like Texas. Hopefully CharmND can expand into Charm UT at one point in the future, which is something in the works, but very, very cool to see from Texas. And I like those colors. That burnt orange, actually my favorite color, next to like the forest green and a little bit of Kelly green. I think that the school is beautiful. It has wonderful people at it. It's a very smart institution, and it's cool to see. So Texas is back. Alabama is reeling. They're gonna figure it out. But really interesting to see new players in the college football world. Sometimes, I mean, yes, it'll probably end up being Georgia at the end of the day winning it all, but to sit there, see it, it just feels good. It just feels right to have Notre Dame and Texas up at the forefront. The other Texas team that didn't really figure it out and had a little bit of a tough time, Texas A&M. Trouble is happening at College Station, which, not gonna lie, I really don't mind seeing College Station having a rough go at it. Yes, I have some friends that went to Texas A&M, but I got a few people that like they love it more than anything. Well, Notre Dame is also like that. Like it's a cult. Like everybody loves Notre Dame, and it's the feeling. But it's a different thing for Texas A&M. Like their huge rings that they're wearing everywhere. The overconfidence for teams that are only good like once or twice every few years. Like the Manziel mania changed everything. The Manziel mania turned it into a game show at the end of the day for just, oh yeah, we're official. You guys haven't been official in years, and I don't really see it happening. You got the money, and I don't know. It kind of reminds me of oil. Like all these electric cars are coming in, man. You guys are just trying to hold on to something that may not may not be there. Texas A&M lost to Miami 48-33, and so that makes me think Miami is back, and it's always good for college football when Miami's playing well. When you got the coast teams playing well, Miami's tradition, they've turned around that program. I mean, Florida football in general, Florida State playing well. It's one of those things. It's good to see the U kind of back on top. Shifting a little bit in football, we got Red Zone back week 1 of the NFL. And let me tell you, I'm not like a huge NFL football fan at the end of the day. I love being able to watch some of the players and I love being able to play fantasy. But time and time again, I watch the NFL and it's okay. But those guys, they hit so hard. There's such a difference from college than to the NFL. Like these guys are getting paid millions of dollars to take your head off, and they literally do. But being on Red Zone was awesome. Being able to watch some of that Chargers Miami Dolphins game was just maniacal. Seeing how many times those guys were getting hit, seeing if Tua was just going to get destroyed every 5 seconds. But Miami pulled out the win, so Florida's figuring it out, honestly. But to be able to watch some football, get vertical or get horizontal on the couch, and just chill, like not have to do anything. The errands you were gonna run, those can wait. It's fine. You can go do whatever you want. I'm sure women are like, hey, take a break, or even if you're a football fan, enjoying the games too. It's just nice to sit down, get the hors d'oeuvres out, have some pigs in a blanket, and just be like, I don't have to do anything on this Sunday. I love that, and I love the fact that Sundays kind of changed for that betterment. At the same time, Monday was a rough day. I am a Jets fan, being from New Jersey, and that was rough. That was amazing to do it on September 11th, to be able to come out the Jets. These Aaron Rodgers comes running out with the American flag. He's happy as ever, living the dream in the Jets uniform, the green and white, looking good, ready to go. 4 plays in, torn Achilles. 4 plays in, torn Achilles. And I saw the replay, and it was so sad. And the Jets, I've liked them through thick and thin. I don't know why. Ultimately, I'm a Jets fan just because of what they've done, but it actually all started when Eli Manning was the quarterback for the Giants. And my family are all Giants fans. They all like the Giants. And me being the contrarian that I am, I was a Jets fan. I liked the green and white. I liked Curtis Martin. I thought Chad Pennington was good. I thought that they were a cool team. They had Revis Island. They were something. And they've only been downhill. But funny story about the Giants is like my parents, they love the Giants and they have always supported them. But when they were playing the Patriots, our friends the Bardas, they made a wager with my mom, and that wager with my mom was like, hey, we'll do a big wine dinner on, and you have to take us out whoever wins. uh, as their Patriots fans, this was the undefeated season. They were 18-0 going into the Super Bowl. I think the Giants were 9-7 and they just got in. And they made this bet, and it was going to be at least a $500,000 dinner. I mean, you really show out, and it's the fun of like being with friends and everything. But the game happens, and Eli Manning throws the touchdown to David Tyree, who catches it on his head, and it goes down in history. Like Victor Cruz, all those guys just balling out there, playing their game, and the Giants ended up winning. And my family was ecstatic. My mom actually used to go to Super Bowls, and she met the Mannings, she met Eli, she met Peyton, and we have signed footballs by them, pictures, and he's a nice guy. I mean, they're nice. They're on ESPN. Hopefully, we'll get him on the pod one day. But what happens is they go to this dinner, and Mr. Barter comes walking in with this big picture frame, and it's wrapped up. And at the end of the dinner, when they're all sitting there, he says, I know a bet's a bet and I'm paying for the dinner, but I also have something I want to show you and something to give you. And he pulls it out, and it's Eli Manning with his hands up like this, celebrating. He's got the Super Bowl patch on. It's from the game. And it said, Paris, you were right. Eli Manning. He literally signed the photo, and that's hanging in our playroom. And ever since then, my Jets have never done anything. And the Giants, yeah, they're going through some tough times, but they have those wins that they'll hold on forever. So that was always crazy to me, and I kind of like the Giants a little bit because I know Daniel Jones. But anyway, tough times for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, they got the win. They won in overtime, and yes, it was tripping on the last play, but whatever. He got the win. Zach Wilson, Mr. Steal Your Girl, Mr. Steal Your Mom. It doesn't matter. Amazing to see that happen. Just like really cool to have the Jets win. I don't think they're going to win many games this year, but their defense is stacked. They got Sauce Gardner, 3 interceptions, like did not miss a beat from last year. Um, or maybe it wasn't Sauce Gardner, but still, just the defense was flying around. You got to learn a lot of personality from the Hard Knocks, and that was cool. That was really cool to see. But yeah, glad to see football's back. But those Jets, they just stay the Jets. They never change. They're always gonna be that franchise that you're just like, yep, that was expected of them. So we'll see how the season turns out. Hopefully, Aaron Rodgers is back. I mean, I don't know if he even plays ever again. I mean, torn Achilles, you're donezo. I couldn't even imagine. I mean, if it takes out Achilles, then it can take out Aaron Rodgers at the end of the day. But yeah. All right. Next, we're going to go into a little bit of CharmND. So I've got a charm right here. As you can see, we got the typical keychain here, all made by myself. We have the gold flakes from the football helmets. We also have a football helmet that is painted with the same gold that is used on the Notre Dame helmets. I worked with Finish Line Industries and Hydro Graphics to get those done. Trying to put that in the mic. Then we also have Little Irish shamrock right here for the Fighting Irish. Beautiful. Then we also have wood seat shaving. So those wood seats that were in the stadium for over 100 years, I got and was able to work with the Idea Center to get these wood pallets. And I shaved down a lot of the wood pallets and came up with putting them into these little vials. And I love them. Like the brown contrast. Definitely got some splinters out of it, but absolutely loved being able to put those in there. And then these little black pellets that you see here are also the pellets from the actual football field. So the AstroTurf field that we put in a few years ago, I was working the spring game. I was able to grab some pellets from down there and put it all together to have like a little keychain. And the whole idea was just to be able to hold Notre Dame in your hand. More so than just a shirt, more so than a diploma, more so than just a hat. It's about holding Notre Dame truly in your hand. And that's definitely the football edition, but we have pieces from all around campus. I mean, we have reflecting pond water from Hesburgh Library, soil from Maine Quad. So when I was out there, so funny. I was like with a spoon grabbing some soil from the campus and stuff. We also have water from the Great Lakes right around Notre Dame's campus. We even have Basilica and Holy Water blessed water that, I mean, I hope God's okay with that, but I got some water that's blessed by the Basilica and beautiful water. It stayed clear all throughout this time. Maybe that's divine intervention. I don't know. And then the last one that I love too is, you go down to the grotto and you light candles uh, to Mother Mary. And I was able to spend a donation and get a few different candles. And I actually melt that wax and drip it down into those vials. And so, all to say, I mean, I come up with necklaces, bracelets, keychains, wine stems. You can use them for dinner parties. Anything you want, you name it. I build these things to build the Notre Dame community. So go Irish and go CharmND. It's been a project that I absolutely love. It's a proud sponsor of the podcast, and you can find us at charm_nd on Instagram, or you can also find us along the Etsy shop. So it's CharmND shop, one word, on Etsy, and sales have been good. I mean, I'm building out a few different things. I'm trying to get some turf from the actual stadium and the old field that they used, and always looking for new ideas. So if you have any ideas or you want to partner with me, please let me know. The next part we're going to move into is the weekend recap. So on Friday, I actually played pickleball, and I just have to say I love pickleball. Pickleball is awesome. Like pickleball is one of those sports that is quick, interactive. You can just play with your friends. It's easy to get along with if you haven't played before because you just pick it up. You just have to have hand-eye coordination. And I'm actually like decent at it, so I really do thoroughly enjoy playing pickleball. It's one of those things that you're just hitting the ball, moving quick. The scoring though, like tennis, it gets confusing. But once you figure it out, it works. But some people are like, 1-2-1? What does that even mean? What 2-1-1? Huh? And I'm like, yeah, and there's sometimes some weird serves and things like that, and you have to let it bounce. But once you get it, you figure it out. And I think that's why pickleball has picked up so much as it has. It's blown up into a sport where there are literal bars that just have pickleball courts and are booming. Like, people want to play every single week. And I've gone every single Friday, and we just had a great time. We had a bunch of guys out there, and you just sit out there and you talk about life, get a couple beers or get a little bit of food, get a burger, and it's easy, especially to be around coworkers and take a load off of just normal work. So, pickleball, If you haven't played it, you should definitely play it. Anybody can play it. Cross between tennis and ping pong, but you really do end up figuring out your skills. And once you get the bug, you can't give it up. So after that, on Saturday, I ran a 5K, which was the first 5K I've ever run in my entire life. And 5Ks are great. First off, it was for the NCMF, and Alliant Group was a main sponsor of it. It was the for Black College Funds. They were doing a walk, and they were all big sponsors. There was Exxon was there. You had Wells Fargo. You had Alliant Group. You had Boeing, and huge tents, great music. Trainers were out there stretching people. There were a ton of different uh, little places where you could get your face painted. You could bring your dogs out there. It was special. And we went out to a park out in Katy. It was about 30 minutes away from Houston. And I was like, I'm going to walk or I'm going to bike. But 5K is only 3.1 miles. So it's not like a ton, but I thought, hey, I want to go do this. I want to go be able to support. I want to go be able to help. And Alliant Group was opening up sections for people. So I signed up and I got to the front of the line and something got into me. I was like, I'm gonna run it. And so I threw in my earphones and I ran it. And I think it took me 34 minutes. It might have been 33. 10-minute mile, yeah, 10-ish minute mile, sure, like that's not fast, but and I'll tell you what, I definitely walked some. There was a few ones where I ran a little bit and then I stopped and then I ran and then I stopped. But I'm proud of myself. And I think if you could do it for a good cause, you should do it, right? And most people walked, but I ran and I think I was in the top like 20 or 30 because most people walked and stuff, but really proud of that. Really happy to be able to do that. They gave out breakfast tacos afterwards, and it was special. Got to get a little bit of Alliant Group swag and just to see other people get there and do it. It was hotter than heck out there. It was 75 by the time it was 7:45 in the morning, and it got up to like 85 by the time I finished. So I was happy I wasn't running in 90 plus degree weather, but really special to be able to go do that, give back. That's what life is all about. It's like we have these wonderful opportunities, we have these things, but how are you giving back? How are you able to make a difference? And I think that there was just a wonderful opportunity to be that change. Um, they also served breakfast tacos, which were delicious afterwards. Got some snacks and got out of there. So really thankful for that. Really thankful for Alliant Group to be able to do that for people. Sunday, in the midst of all the football and things like that, my girlfriend actually got me a Thai massage, and that was the first Thai massage I've ever been to, and it was at Post Oak and Thai therapy, and first time I'd ever gotten a Thai massage, and so I got in, signed up, did the waiver and everything, and they're like, "What do you want to do?" And I've always done a Swedish massage. I was like, "Yeah, I'll do another Swedish massage," but I ended up doing the combo because I was like, "Oh, I'll figure it out." There was something for hot stones, there was oils, there was all that stuff. So I said combo. We'll see what happens. And so they direct me. They bring me to this room. It's 60 minutes. My girlfriend, shout out Olivia Graham. Oh my gosh, thank you for getting me that. I needed it. De-stress, get myself zen. Um, but it was beautiful. I got in there. They're like, get changed. And you go on this big table, and not like a small little table that you usually see from like most of your massages. They just one person can fit on, but it was a full table, and I was like, oh okay. So I got undressed, got on there, and she started off, and she's like working me. This was, I swear, it was more of a stretch session than it was like a Thai massage. She was working so deep into my calves, my thighs, and lower and upper back. Like so deep at times, like you lose your breath and you're like, it was crazy how deep she was going to get me to that point. But it was great because I had just done the 5K the day before, so I was going to be unable to walk the next couple of days, and she literally worked out the kinks everywhere. And we're in there. I swear massages, they go so fast. I mean, 60 minutes, it feels like 10 at the end of the day, or probably like 30. But sometimes when you do the other ones, or the Swedish ones, you can literally like fall asleep, and then you're like, did you change the clocks on my phone? Like, what is happening here? So got in there. She's working me. I'm dead. I'm tired. I'm like, "Ugh, I don't even know if I could deal with you doing this to me." I mean, she's like a 60-year-old Asian woman, hands of God. Next thing I know, she starts getting up on the table and she starts walking on my back and hitting all the pressure points, moving in and out. That was the first time I ever had an Asian lady walk all over me. Well, maybe not the first, but literally she just was walking up and down on on me, and it was not that bad. I wouldn't say she was more than 120 pounds, so the weight wasn't crazy, but it was still kind of wild to be able to do that and have that. And then the next thing I know, she's putting all these gels and soothing balms on me. Vicks Vapor Rub, which I know from like my festival days. I love smelling that sort of stuff, but she was just rubbing it on sore areas, and arnica was really really good. I mean, it was awesome. And then next thing I know, I start to feel some heat, and I'm like, what is going on here? What are we doing with the heat? And so she ends up taking these hot stones and puts them on my back while she's rubbing them in this oil. I like the combo. I will say, you have this normal Swedish massage. Okay, here and there, they rub you down. That's fine. But the stones, the stepping, all of it, it was a really fun experience. And they give you a cup of tea at the end of the day. Overall, it was great. Like, I highly recommend River Oaks Thai Massage. I highly recommend getting a massage. If you need something, a small thing you can do is just get a massage. It changes your life. It makes you feel good. You're able to do whatever you want, and you come out being more refreshed, and so you should do that. So that was my Thai massage experience. I set one up for next month, so check back in next month on how that goes. So next thing I just wanted to bring up was I went to North Coast Music Festival. So during Labor Day weekend, I don't know if I talked about it too much, but went to North Coast Fest with my best friend Turner Burgess, and it was our second year in a row going, and it was absolutely unbelievable. I mean, 3 days of vibes. I mean, it's heaven on earth. Like, you get the festival blues after you leave because everything is just so good. You're with your friends. There's good music. People are wearing cool costumes. You're in fits. The food's good. Everybody's vibing. Everybody wants to meet each other. People are giving bracelets to each other, and you get to see artists that you appreciate and you know a little bit more. And so we had just the best time. We had a little Airbnb about 3-4 miles away, and we met people that lived in the house that were also going to the festival, and we just made friends. That's what it's all about, just like making friends in the community, meeting people, and making connections for the time while you're there, and also for the future. Like, you follow everybody on Instagram, and you get to know a little bit about them, and who they like, and where they've been before. And I would say I'm definitely a veteran raver, but cool to see the people that have only been there a couple times, or their first festival, or don't know what they should do. But you go to all these different stages. They had 3 different stages, which were so cool, and saw some of my favorite artists. I mean, Alesso threw down. He was top notch for sure. Then Lane 8 was incredible. Lane 8 was awesome. Zed's Dead was out of this world. Alice in Wonderland popped off. Flume, um, Big Gigantic Nightmare, Marshmallow went off, and who am I? Oh, Ganja White Knight was amazing. I mean, these guys are just artists in their own right, and they make wonderful music. The visuals were amazing. I am a laser god. I love lasers. Seeing those lasers were so cool. They just were beautiful. And overall, 10 out of 10 weekend. It was a celebration with my buddy Turner. Like I said, second year in a row. Being able to have the time to just talk to him and be with him, and when we're home we're watching Suits and talking about work and figuring things out. I mean, it was great. I mean, even on that Friday we explored Chicago a little bit. I took him around the city. We walked and saw the ocean that he called the ocean, but Lake Michigan, and it was really quite beautiful. And shout out Santiago. I stayed with him on Thursday night, and he lives in Chicago, and he goes to U of Chicago. So bridging friends together, like seeing all everybody together, was really really cool. Absolutely love that, and we're thinking we might run it back again. So year three, North Coast Music Festival. Check me out there next year. It's always during Labor Day, which is a tough time to go, but worth it at the end of the day. We've done it right, and I think we will continue to do it right. So, Ayo, this episode is sponsored and brought to you by CharmND. CharmND specializes in creating unique and authentic sterling silver vials and real items from around the Notre Dame campus. Each charm is carefully handmade and contains a little piece of the Fighting Irish spirit. Vials filled with dirt from the iconic main quad, pellets from the hollowed ground of the Notre Dame football stadium, wood shavings from the seats of the stadium, 24-karat golds from the Notre Dame football helmets, water from the serene St. Joseph's Lake, candle wax from the peaceful grotto, water from the Notre Dame reflecting pond, and holy water for added blessings. Charms are priced at between $20 and $30 and can be customized to your needs as a necklace or a lucky charm. Check us out at charm_ND at Instagram. Our charms are a perfect gift for any Notre Dame fan or alum. So go CharmND and go Irish. Now let's get back to the show. Yeah, I think that's just like a quick recap. I think on the next few episodes, I just want to give you a quick rundown of what we're thinking. And I always say we're, but it's the Luck Manager lifestyle. Luckies, you guys are all a part of this. And I want to hear your feedback. I want to hear who I should have on. Should I have guests that I've had on before and bring them back and be able to ask questions and learn more about them? Or do I go and keep interviewing new people, keep bringing in the vibes into this luck management lifestyle at the end of the day? I want to be able to hear from that, so please reach out to me. You can email, text, anything. Text me, please, like 973-518-0744. Like, I'm here. But some things upcoming for the show. Hopefully, we're going to get on Notre Dame legend Chris Zorich. I've been speaking to him. He's going to be able to come and explore the luck management lifestyle a little bit, which I think will be an incredible experience. And then we also have a couple guys that have started startups at Notre Dame. They're going to be speaking about their experience. And then some of the biggest people and players from around Notre Dame, but also just in our community. I love being able to talk to anybody. I think that's one of the beauties. It's like, oh, you go learn from someone that you didn't know anything about, but you can take a little bit of nugget of knowledge and advice. I mean, that's what we did with David Howitt. I hope you guys all enjoyed that episode, and it's cool to be able to do it off of YouTube and podcasts and building the brand. It's special for me to be able to provide that for you guys, and I won't be lying, it's good for me. It's special for me to be able to have that. Yeah. So, and the biggest news coming on is my sister will be coming on the podcast. Julia Loesch, who is the true star of it all, will be on the Luck Management podcast coming up very soon. I think I'm gonna interview her this weekend, and we're just gonna chat. And she's probably got some good stories to tell. She's always got good stories. She's the best orator I've ever seen. So, yeah, just always give your suggestions. Please, if you could, subscribe on YouTube at the Luck Management Podcast, or go on Apple or Spotify and give us ratings. I mean, it really does help. It moves us up the charts. It moves me to do more. I read the reviews. I might even start like reading reviews in the future. So if you leave a review, I'll read it on the podcast, or I'll read it for the video. And yeah, I just appreciate that. So last thing before we check out is one thing for CharmND. Um, we are also working to get AstroTurf from the field. So hopefully get that. May have mentioned that earlier, but yeah, big things are in store. We're always brought to you by CharmND. Hold a piece of Notre Dame in your hand. So whatever you do and wherever you listen, Apple, Spotify, and now watching on YouTube, keep living the luck management lifestyle. Peace.